We are
If
live.
something I can do with my favorite sport, well, I haven't got to think about that because there's a
Not
lot of
even,
things I like to do.
but
You know
we'll
what I'm
kick it off in
saying?
a minute. We're live, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome
What's
to the
up, everybody?
program.
If there's a 100 bun left on your pillow, don't take it, man. It's a prisoner in your house.
That is great advice. Great advice.
That's
Better.
how we starting the episode. Okay.
Exactly.
Right
You
off.
got it
Right off the top.
right off top, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in hot. Feel me?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Trying to pull us up on
But yeah,
Facebook.
man, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another show. I'm glad y'all showing up. I hope y'all come on the computer and talk to us and chat, show up in the chat box. You know what I'm saying? See what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, Insta Snap, all that.
That's right. We're on
YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube right now. So this is
Yeah,
on YouTube as
YouTube.
well. For
So slide through. Slide through like an ugly nigga in the DM.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad this isn't on the anchor yet. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd slap a big old E next to our episode.
Hey man, that's fine. That mean we gonna get exposed.
And there'd be nothing we could do about it. It is what
Yeah,
it is.
ain't nothing we can do about it. We gonna get exposed. We out here on Raw today.
Yes.
Off
Okay.
top, ain't had no sleep. I'm coming off the cup.
Okay.
Hot boy. 99 2000. Dropping it like it's hot.
Hey.
Backing that thing up.
Can you not?
You got a reaction already, man.
Hey yo.
That's good.
That sounds
That's
like
good.
Chris.
That means you're paying
Yeah,
attention.
But I don't
that
know.
mean you paying attention. You wide awake, man. Let's go.
All right.
And other
So,
news, you know.
what's up?
Nah, we finna go ahead and start the show, man. We finna what we're gonna do our pre-topic thing. What we talking about?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
If you had, if anything that you do and find to be your favorite thing in life could be an Olympic sport, what is it?
That's right, Darius.
Oh man.
That is exactly what our pre-topic is.
Yeah, I listen. You know. Mine would be I'll be nah, that ain't, they can't really judge off of that. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, that's hard. I ain't even really got nothing I want to be in the Olympic sport because I don't even know if they can show that on TV. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my God. Now I want to know. Now I want to know what it is.
That might be some Olympics after dark, like BET back in the day.
Please share now.
Nah, I ain't gonna share that.
Oh
you know what I'm
my
saying?
gosh.
You know what I'm saying? But nah,
Offline.
man.
But JR, while Darius is pondering that,
Right.
What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, welcome to the program officially. But yeah, if anything you love to do was an Olympic sport, what would it be? Like you could get a gold medal for it, like for sure.
Look, man, I'm a foodie to my heart. I think just consuming however many pounds of food, bro. Like it can be fish sandwiches, it could be South Georgia call them tater logs. I know them in the city as potato wedges, but tater logs. I mean anything food related, man. And any high consumption of it, I'm with it.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Too.
man.
Hey man, like you just think of Jesse. What is that guy Chestnut with the hot dog eating contest? Why not make that an Olympic sport? A bunch of countries compete in eating.
Yeah.
So I think you're onto something there.
Yeah,
But
and then they eat their country's food, though. You know, like they eat,
the way it almost. Now I will say this, like it's just the way they like force the hot dogs in their face. It's almost sickening sometimes. Like that's too much, you know. But I need a slower pace. I don't know if I could do it that fast, you know. But if it was a bunch of catfish fillets lined up, and your boy in there, it's over with.
What would be your strategy? Like, I think to make it interesting, they'd have to leave the bones in. You know what I'm saying?
No, man, I don't want no bones in no cat.
I'm just saying you got to make it interesting. Otherwise, people just.
I don't know, man. I mean, you do it now.
Easy medal.
It's mukbangs going on now. We got people eat
catfish, man. Let me tell you something. I just need some mustard and some hot sauce.
Right. That's gonna keep me bouncing
hot.
from.
I need the person cooking the fish right beside me. You know what I'm saying? After
the fish come out cooking what now?
I need the person cooking the fish right beside me. So every time I finish about 10, 15 more, he pop another 10, 15 out the grease.
Fresh out the grease.
Fresh out the grease.
Now that's earning a medal. That's earning a medal right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be up there eating.
I guess on that note, I would say eating snow crab legs.
Oh yes.
Mella knows how I get down. I don't need a hammer. I don't need a little cleaning tool. I don't need anything but my incisors. Man, I'm a machine.
Yeah, I'm about to say the way Steve eat crab legs is an art form, bro. That man is practice.
Wait, so Steve, where you from, bro?
I'm from right here.
Okay.
Yeah, right here in Atlanta.
Yeah, he an Atlanta native.
Next time you in if you ever in DC, bro, I'll take you to the wharf because this
yes.
There's known for crabs, bro.
The wharf is another level of
seafood. It's like an outdoor market, seafood market, and the boat just pull in, bro. Live crab legs. Because a matter of fact, when I first got back from training, I saw my classmates about it, and so we ended up ordering like 40 pounds of jumbo snow crab legs, bro, and going in 40 pounds, man. Getting to it.
And it's so good.
Y'all let me know y'all in town, man, and it's on me.
Hey man, I'm coming up there.
I'm definitely. Let me see. Let me clear my schedule.
I put some butter in my carry-on bag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God.
With the Tony Shashery, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, sir, what do you have in your bag? I got about 15 pounds of butter.
15 pounds of butter. Take that or leave it.
I cannot.
But yes, I'm confident I would get a medal for that.
Yes, that's good stuff.
Yeah, Steve. Steve would get a medal for that. I seen him work. Steve can blast through crab legs like no other. He can get the little tiny piece of meat out.
Oh, you're a real one. You're a real one.
It's a technique, man. This is all in how you break the shell. It's all in how you break the shell. You just want to break it once. Get all that meat out.
Just once?
Just all you gotta do.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right, I'll give you all the game if you want. You know, you put the shell in your incisor, you make a hole, so that way when you break it, just the shell breaks and not the meat, and you pull it apart.
Hey man,
crab philosophy.
Give him a gold medal, guys.
Hey man,
give him a gold medal.
Crab cracking 101.
Right.
Right. Yeah, man.
Oh
Mella G, did you give your gold medal? Well, you are going to do the decathlon of artistry. That's what you're gonna play the ukulele, you're gonna DJ, you're gonna rap, you're gonna produce a video, you're gonna do a TikTok and all that.
Well,
all while we in a hot hoodie.
It's cold in the studio. What are you talking about? What studio isn't cold? But anyways, probably not yours, Stevie, but this studio is always cold.
The back of the house is way colder than the front. Like, so
he don't upgrade it now. The whole house get cold.
Exactly.
Oh wow. No, I was gonna say something along the line of art, but I just don't know like how that will be made into a sport. And
if it can, then it can. Anything, we just talked about eating crab legs and everything.
I don't know. I was saying like making a film like right there on the spot, but then you have to have a set, and basically you get a set and a crew, and you have to make a film in like however many hours they give, and the best film wins or something like that.
Man,
you could make a full-on film in one room.
Yeah,
if you want to.
I got one though.
Okay. All right.
Coon hunt. Coon hunting. Straight up coon hunting. Hey, you got to be a good one. You got to have a good set of dogs too, because if you ain't got no good set of dogs, Coon beat the crap out of them dogs. You got a sorry dog. He go in that bush after that coon. All you gonna do? I seen one time raccoon beating the dog so bad. The dog paws came out the bush and he was trying to come out. And then I had to reach and grab both his feet and drag him on out there. That dog ain't been the same since. Anytime you say coon, that joker lay down.
Man, that's like the Iditarod, man. You're only as good as your dog.
Yeah, I'm for
you
real,
know what
man.
I mean?
Like that dog, it would sound like 15 coons in there beating the death out of him, man. And I was just like, dang, man, that messed up.
Chris, what?
Are you not surprised? Like, it's Darius.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, coons are they look docile, man. But I'm telling you, something, coons, hey, man, vicious. If you ain't got the right dog, the raccoon beat the dog to death. You feel me?
I think that would be interesting to watch because I think that only happens in the South anyway. So that would be like a new introduction to the whole world. Like, wow, this is actually a thing that people do.
Yep. It'd be like the outdoor Olympics.
Hey, Buckshot Bill coming around. He seems to be the favorite here at the Olympics, guys. Buckshot Bill's killed more coons.
He hailed from Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I'm glad. Oh, you thought I was saying coon as in what the other people say call people. No, I'm talking about raccoon. Yeah. I'm talking about raccoon.
He got there eventually. It's all right.
Yeah, the bandit eye animal. You know what I'm saying? Rolls in your forest and digs in your trash can occasionally. You know what I'm saying? But very fun fact: raccoons clean their food before they eat it. They don't just eat it. They go in the trash, they accumulate it, they clean it up, and then they eat it. You know, raccoons are a very clean animal.
I didn't know that.
Cook a meal of little sweet potatoes and some onions and bell peppers.
Yeah. It does taste good though.
Yeah. I'm not in that. I've never done that.
See, that's a rural Georgia thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a suburbanite.
Man, you have them in the freezer and the little freezer bags.
Yeah, and if you buy a coon off a person, always remember you buy your raccoon with the feet on.
Yes.
If he ain't got no feet, that might be a puppy.
Oh Lord. What?
I'm telling you, that's what I have been told. You know what I'm saying? If you don't buy your raccoon with your feet on, don't buy them. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring them to the house. It would be like, man, where the feet at? And it be like, hey, man, what you mean where the feet at? The feet ain't on the raccoon, man. How you know it's a raccoon? It could be a dog. Hey, it happened, man.
Gosh.
So once you shave them, take the skin off, take the feet off, you don't know what that is. It looks like a little,
you really don't know.
Little fat puppy.
True.
Oh man, gotta watch out for that. But now we're nice and warmed up now. So
clearly
we're about to hit the intro, and we will see you at the other side of the bump.
What up, everybody? How you doing? Where your members at? We here today. Share us, like us with your friends and family. All right. Hey, Steve, don't do that, man. Don't act like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to welcome people on. What up, everybody? It's your boy Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neil.
And it's your girl Mella G.
With special guest
J.R. Goodman.
And this is
conversate.
Let's talk about it. You always throw me off.
Another happy landing.
Hey man, what you mean?
I didn't expect you to do that. You.
Hey man, I told you I don't do the same thing every week, man. You better keep you on your toes.
I'm trying to be on my toes. Never mind, that did come out.
I'm
right.
literally on my toes now.
Hey, man. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all find it entertaining. We got our special guest on, J.R. Goodman, a fellow Georgianite.
Yes.
I don't even know. Do we call? We call ourselves Georgians.
Georgianite.
Yeah. Georgia. Yeah.
Sorry, people. You know,
we should make that a thing, though. We should make that
Georgianites.
Georgianite.
They don't even like to put masks on. They ain't gonna change that.
Yeah.
This is true.
But yeah, man, let's get into our how you livings. As we usually do. We're gonna start with the lady in the room. How you living, Mella G?
I'm living well. This past week has been super challenging in a good way. Now that I'm kind of getting more accustomed to this leadership role, there's a lot of expectations that come with it. And so just, just trying to get accustomed to that. This weekend was really good for me. I was able to kind of spend some time with myself. Self-care is very important. So yesterday I went and got a mani and a pedi. I won't put my feet on.
Oh, I thought you said you got a man.
Wow. Nope, ain't got one of those yet.
Man, Darius, you've been coming from Mella.
I know, man. He just wants me. This is what it is. He wants to be single for the rest of my life.
You were like the true blocking big brother. Like, seriously.
Hey,
They'd be like, oh. So go ahead.
Later.
That's why you here, Steve. You the opposite of what I do. So that's why she got balance. We growing up a good Mella.
There you go.
Her boyfriend gonna come over and Darius just gonna give him the business, like Bad Boys too.
I'm gonna sit the pistol on the table and say, how can you count?
But yes, Mella, continue.
I'm just gonna direct him right to this video. But anyways, no, I just really did a lot of self-care this weekend. I think that's something that I'm trying to do a lot more of. Because as most of you know, and I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, is therapy. And through that, I'm just learning how to have healthier habits. And as I'm unpacking my past and my trauma, and I think when you're just unpacking trauma in general, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. And it's just good to make sure that once those voids are there and you've addressed it and you're trying to make better choices, to fill them with healthier things. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. Every weekend, just going out on an adventure, trying new things. If I like it, I stick with it. If I don't, I just like, well, I've experienced that, but I just don't like it. So just kind of finding myself in this season, and it's been really, really rewarding. So that's how I've been living lately.
That's good. That's good. Using that time, claiming your time.
Yes, for sure.
How you been living, Stevie Neil?
Well, this past week, August 7th to be exact, was me and my wife's 9th spiritual birthday.
Hey.
And
man, y'all old.
It's getting there, I guess. They always tell you that 10 years kind of changes. I'm waiting to see that, but I'm waiting for them. They're going to move the line. I'm telling you, they're going to move the line to 15 as soon as we turn 10. But anyway, but yeah, 9 years, man, 9 years. Just individually, just seeing, there were points where I did not think I'd make it to this 9th year, to be honest. You know what I mean? Just because you reach these plateaus in, your development, your maturity and everything like that. And you haven't experienced it before. So until you go to God with it and go to the brothers with it or the people, you're just kind of like, all right, how's this going to turn out? But then it turns out better than you could ever expect, because God knows the plan, we don't.
Yeah.
So just thinking about that a lot, and just like the spot that we're in, still together, me and my wife still, very much happily married. And being in this house, that it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to other people as well, throughout the years. So that's been tremendous. So that's been a good part of my pondering for my week. And just continuing to be in and out of work. I get a lot done when I go into work, guys. I'm finding that.
Wow.
But with everything going on in the world, I'm not gonna get to do it as often, probably. But that's another story. But
hey man.
Yeah, they're world's smallest violin. I know, man. I know you go in every day. You get in that truck every day until we get you a rig. Like I'm saying, until we get you a rig, like Ready Player One. You know what I'm saying? I salute you, sir.
Hey man, y'all better put some respect on our name. You won't have no butt wipers without us.
I'm telling you, I just got to Amazon. I just got this little mouse pad or whatever. I salute the logistics industry. You know what I'm saying? Amazon's been my hobby this whole pandemic. It's a lot of this stuff came on Amazon. I know that. So, but yeah. How you living? JR.
What's up, brother? Been living good. Working a lot. We're severely undermanned at the job, so it opens opportunities for overtime. It's almost limitless. I need to create a better balance. I need to make some vacations happen, something. 'Cause I'm working way too hard to not enjoy the money and the time that I could have off. So I'm in the process of learning more about money and how I view and how I treat money. It's been a very interesting journey. It's just a lot that we just didn't learn about. Just using money as a tool to get the things that we want to get. What else? I started a company. I started a cleaning company. I started at the tail end of COVID to do apartment complex. I had a friend. She's in not project management, but property management, and she's the manager over 2 locations. But I have not had a chance to really get it going. So in the meantime, I've chosen to simply buy real estate up under the LLC, and take the liability out of my name and throw it in the business name, and that way I can still generate some sort of wealth and monthly income. So learn about real estate and stuff now, so I can get some things going in the near future.
That's dope.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Hey man. Millionaire JR.
You feel me? Go ahead and speak, brother.
Hey, finish start high stepping out the race.
They're gonna call him like JR from Dallas. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
When you talk to me, you put the Mister in the front.
I think what really sparked it, man. With the last administration, I was on a work trip. I was actually in Dallas, and it was a luncheon. It was only supposed to be like 32 people, very small detail. And I was at the front door screening people, and I overheard the amount of money people were spending on this luncheon. These billionaires and multimillionaires actually billionaires, they were spending $500,000 per plate to come to this luncheon. $500,000 for a plate.
For a plate of chicken wings?
For a plate of whatever, cranberry salad, grilled chicken, whatever.
Yeah.
The disposable income these folks had. And we're at a billionaire's house. It was one of his houses, the second largest house in Dallas City. And we walk into this dude's house. I'm just like, bro, I'm poor. Like, I grew up poor, but I'm still poor. Like, this
Yeah.
dude, they were so rich. The lady was so
$500,000.
rich. Yeah, for a plate. And so the guy left. So our guy could, have the house for the luncheon. But I'm talking about bowling alley in the basement, 7-car garage. They so rich. The wife didn't know how to pop the trunk on her car. Like, how you not know what the trunk button is? So baseball field in the backyard. I'm talking about this wild stuff that kind of it creates. It lets you know, like, oh, there are other levels out here for real. We hear
Yes,
about it,
sir.
but now I got an aiming point. Like, what did you
Mhm.
do? So just throwing, just
Basically.
just throwing money away. But it's when you got a couple billion, like, what do you do with that kind of money? What do you do? So that's been
Man.
my aiming point. If I don't make a billion and I end up with a couple mil, I've already done better than um I ever thought I'd do.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's real. That's kind of stuff me and my brother talk about all the time. We just like, bro, it's some people that we talk to and know that just live on a whole entire different level than we even thinking
Yeah,
about. Because I was just like, we just trying not to live paycheck to paycheck. These people literally have to spend money so they won't have to give it all away.
Yeah.
bruh. It's mind boggling. It's mind boggling. That you have to, like, really spin it just so you don't get ate up in tax. You got to find ways to hide it.
Yeah,
Tax
yeah,
gonna get you. And even in the last administration, man, it's like people you just don't know about, you never even heard of, that are more wealthy than the guy running the show, and have a chance to meet these
hmm
people. And if I took a private jet in, oh, it's still waiting on me. Excuse me, what? So it's I've never heard that
Yeah.
kind of talk, never heard
Yeah.
it before, but it takes it makes you just want to jump out there and take the risk. If you have an
Yeah.
idea, man, one of my boys kicked it to me like this. He said Apple does not wait to have the perfect product. They just put it out there. And if something's wrong, they do a software update. So if
Yep.
anybody has an idea, just put it out there. And if it's patented, you're protected by that, and you just make a better version of it.
Mhm.
So it really challenged me to put my ideas out there and just go. Either it's gonna work or it's not. So I'm giving you guys that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
That's
sure.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah,
Already dropping these jewels.
yeah,
Amen.
man. I always say about Apple was like back in 2007, nobody knew what an app was.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? On a phone or a
right.
touchscreen phone. But Apple did
Oh,
all of
that's
those
right.
things
Yeah,
in one product. And it
right.
just changed it. It just changed the game. It's not like we were like, oh, I wish there was a phone with a screen on it and little squares to do stuff. Like, no one said that.
Yeah. Nobody.
They just did it. And now the phone game changes forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yep.
agree.
Mm.
Yep. So how you living, Darius J?
Hey man, I'm living pretty good out here. Doing what I have to do in order to survive. Me and my wife have system of holidays that happen within a month. My birthday, her birthday, our anniversaries. You know what I'm saying? So we've been celebrating that. Took her out to a nice little fancy Italian restaurant.
Oh.
Best Italian food I don't ate in Atlanta. Like hands down, best I have eaten in Atlanta. Like I don't try several Italian places. And like I rank them from Olive Garden to that place. You know what I'm saying? That place is at the top because everything we ate was good. You know what I'm saying? Just celebrating, making sure, you know what I'm saying, just staying in pursuit, you know what I'm saying, of my wife and stuff like that. Just been learning things, man, learning communication. Because what one thing I don't learn in counseling, what we think communication is not communication. Like you could be talking to somebody and you ain't even talking to them for real because they just like, yeah, I don't what that ain't my communication style. I don't understand that. You might as well be speaking Mandarin.
Right.
Um and just tapping in, you know what I'm saying, and just knowing that like, man, we all come from places that we've been hurt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we've been hurt, and most of the time we speak and we act out our hurt. And just like a lot of these people that be posting stuff on Instagram and stuff like these little reels and stuff like that, I'd be like, hey man, I hope you don't think like that forever, because that ain't gonna give you nobody that you want to be with for real. Because you know what I'm saying, we have to learn how to step outside of who we are and what we're accustomed to in order to grow. We have to be able to grow, and the only way you're gonna grow, you ain't gonna grow on your own. You don't just grow by getting older. Getting older, I know some old fools, as they say. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go seek help, get somebody to get you some guidance. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's an elder or, you know what I'm saying, counseling, whatever, reading, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But you know what I'm saying, you need somebody to hold your foot to the flame and get your mind to open, your heart to open, so you can connect better with yourself. Because most of the communication thing, it fall within you or what we think communication is. Because just because you do something, just say I'm a person that just provides and I like to give gifts, you know what I'm saying? But I'm giving, thinking I'm giving love. That's not love, or not love to that person. Yeah. It may be some words or anything like that, but you have to learn how that person receives love, how that person accepts words, and you can't just always just basically stick to what you think you know. Yeah. Because what you know may be wrong. And you, like I tell people, I've taught the wrong idea about all relationships all my life most of the time. Now I had some few Jews, but most of the time I knew how to eat and throw out the bone. I know how to eat the meat and throw out the bones. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a talent that God gave me all my life. You know what I'm saying? I know what's real and I know what don't work. And I know I ain't want to be in a relationship with nobody if I ain't know how no good relationships work. So, you know what I'm saying? Even in my relationship, I learned that I still didn't know how it worked. You know what I'm saying? And getting that help, you know what I'm saying? Because is needed, man. We have to continue to grow. We have to grow for ourselves, not just anybody else, you know what I'm saying? But for yourself first, because people don't even understand that we lose money a lot of times because we don't know how to emotionally handle situations that are out of our control. When it get bad, you start falling in and making bad decisions all over again. It's because you don't know how to react and process through them things. And now you lose money. A lot of people lose money not off of intelligence, but emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So just learning how to do that. Learn how to control your feelings. Learn how to shut your mouth when you need to shut. Because most time people need to listen. You know what I'm saying? The best way you can communicate is to actually be an active listener. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't no active listener, you can't communicate well because you won't even be able to say what need to be said or know it's time to be quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it just, you know, living that life, man. Just living a good old married life, learning, growing, staying black and dying.
There you go.
You're dying.
All right, well said. Well said.
I mean, yeah. Every day you wake up and lay down in the bed, you dying. You know what I'm saying? You ain't like you growing to get younger. You growing to get older, so you die. Your body is dying. You go down here after 30 anyway. So welcome to the club, baby.
Yes, no more 20-year-olds on this program.
Yay.
Okay. But we are about to, get into a segment that is near and dear to probably Mella's heart and, a lot of our hearts. We love to talk about relationships in this show.
Yeah.
And if you're not following J.R. Goodman on social media, you need to do so. Because this guy has an interesting life.
You're missing out. Yeah, you're missing out.
The stories he tells.
But then, yes, those two, we'll get to that in a minute. But just, his activities, he's always going to know where the seafood is in the DC area. He's going to know where the parties are. You know what I mean? He's going to know, but in a very dapper and very debonair way,
Appreciate
and he's single too, ladies. He's single. You know what I mean? So I can put that out there, right, JR? I can do that.
You're good.
I mean, you already did it, but
I'm not putting somebody else. Am I? Like, no? Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're going to ask JR. Ask JR a few questions. And Mella G has some mailbag questions, and then we're inviting you guys to ask JR some questions as well. So we can make this a lively segment.
Yes.
So Mella, take it away.
man, I thought you were gonna ask the questions, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, when did I first meet? I met Jr.
When you
Oh,
ask
I
you
know.
about that,
Listen, I'm not. See, when you do your thing, you can talk, but right now I'm talking. I met Jr. when we were still at GACC.
Yeah, it had to be like 2013, 2013,
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, we're going to talk about relationships today because your post every now and then, you're always polling your followers, your friends on certain things, instances that may happen in your own personal life, or you're just trying to get a temperature of how people think. And so, with that being said, my first question is: do you feel that technology and social media has changed the way that people communicate and build meaningful relationships?
Absolutely. I think one, technology is giving people the boldness to actually to speak. I grew up a really pulling a trolling, a little bit of both, bruh. A lot of trolling, a lot of trolling, a lot of trolling. But I think social media is giving people the boldness to, like, shoot their shot, but also become more socially awkward if you ever had to be, in a presence where you got to introduce yourself and hold a conversation. Um, it's also giving people a platform to be someone that they're absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You have people asking for Birkin bags and what they think they deserve, um, but you're not doing that for yourself. But I think it's just it's damaging because it's giving uh, everyone on this platform a false sense of what everything is, because we have a chance to put our best selves out there every day, and it's almost not real because we don't see any flaws, we don't do any of that stuff, and and for some it's a confidence builder, like, I can put this picture out here today and this out here tomorrow, and you just come across as this, this perfect being, when in reality you're nothing like you present yourself. So it is a little damaging.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree, man. I'll let Darius and Stevie kind of give feedback on what you just shared.
All right. I give a little feedback because, hey, man, sometimes, just like I used to tell people back in the day before I met my beautiful wife, Siobhan L. Cummins, you know what I'm saying? I used to be like, hey, man, I know you when you go home, you take your hair off and sit it on the mannequin. So don't act like, you know what I'm saying, you all that. Just be regular. You know what I'm saying?
Just
You
be
can't
regular.
just be regular. We ain't got to put on the front. Hey, I know you don't eat at Sundial every day. You eat
Come on
at
now.
Taco Bell off the dollar menu
Yeah.
like everybody else. That's why your breath stink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I got Trident in the pocket for that. And you know what I'm saying? Chew on some of the Trident, extra hot mint, or Altoids, whatever. But we can have a conversation. You can't come in here talking about what your expectations of me, and you don't even live, you ain't even living like me. You know what I'm saying? But you saying,
Right.
hey, I deserve this, and you supposed to give me this, and I'm all that. And I'm like, yo, man, you don't even make 100K. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell me
That's
about
real.
what you think you deserve, because that's the thing that we do. And men do it too. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, but it oftentimes fall on the men, like, we better be bringing this. But, you know what I'm saying? You living your whole life falsely. If I look at anybody Instagram, most of the time they showing their best picture, and they probably 100 bad pictures that they pick that one out of. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And they always feel like they at the life of the party or doing that. Man, hey man, I gotta tell people, hey man, most people just chill at their house most of the time and step out there once in a while. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, just like for me, I'm at the house, just like most people. I be regular. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Now I do have to watch my mouth because I do say everything that's on my mind straight out, and I don't really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's just who I am, and I don't think people supposed to, you know what I'm saying, just try to always come with the facade first. Cause just like I told my nephew this the other day. I said, hey man, don't worry about being Superman. Just show up as Clark Kent. If they don't like Clark Kent, they don't deserve Superman. What you think? What you gonna fly him through the sky for?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just show them
Yeah,
you Clark Kent. I said, because the thing, the guys, the thing that they've been making people do is show up and be Superman for. That's why they dudes on the first date try to take them to the biggest, best restaurant. I be like, bro, you know you don't
Food.
make that kind of money every day.
Food.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't do that every day. My granddaddy told me, hey, you better show up how you can keep up. Because if you go out there taking them to sundown, and then next week you be like, hey, next 4 weeks we got to eat McDonald's or 4 for 4 from Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna split it. You got to choose which one you gonna have. I'm splitting it 4 for 4. I get the chicken nuggets and the French fry. You can get the hamburger and the McFlurry or whatever they got at Wendy's, the soft, whatever it is. But that's what I'm just saying, man.
Yeah. Man. I concur. Although I feel like technology, social media, has given some people the best platform possible. I feel like it is a means where you could, meet someone you would not otherwise meet. You know what I mean? Just walking around in a grocery store, the library, or wherever else people say you really meet people. But yeah, it can be abused, and it's sad to say it does get abused a lot of the time. And I concur with Darius in the fact that you got to set a baseline. You really got to set a baseline. Not that you're like, okay, I'm going to set the baseline at the lowest possible thing, knowing I can do better. Like, no, but just be real. Like, show somebody from the jump who you are. Okay, if you like to eat at Taco Bell, then maybe find a creative way to do that. Like, don't just get a number one, but you know what I mean? You can make it romantic or something like that.
Exactly. Get us some of them cinnamon twists or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I got extra 30 cents. They got them cinnamon twists bumping.
Yeah, put a candle by it and call it a night. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to do it. You can go to the park. People say that all the time. There's plenty. There are plenty of things to get into. Listen to some music, get some live. Find a restaurant with some live music. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not that much more than going to the Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster all the time. You know what I mean? Like, there's more than
you just
more
showed
than
your age,
restaurants, guys.
Nobody ain't taking nobody no Red Lobster no more, man.
Probably not. You're probably right. The culture is probably passed on that a long time ago.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
Beyonce.
Exactly. I'm about to say red lobster is equivalent on fisherman fish sticks now.
Yeah, I was at Red Lobster just out of just scarcity a couple months ago. I was like, "What?" You're right. It was like I felt like it was one of those frozen fish patties with a couple of fake oysters. I'm like, "What is this?" And I'm spoiled, of course. I'm spoiled because I live in DC now, and it's you get it fresh out the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Captain D, it felt like Captain D's might have been a little step up from where I was having Red Lobster.
Bro.
Hey man, I ate some.
I feel that.
The last time I went to what's the place called? We talking about Red Lobster. Yo, I ate some calamari that tastes like fish sticks, man.
Man,
and then the waiter tried to make it seem like it was me that was wrong. I was like, bro, I'm not taste this, man. Just taste it. And he was just like, nah, we might have cooked it in some fish grease or something. I was like, bro, I don't know what you cooked it in. But you know what I'm saying? But I said, and then he said, nah, maybe need a vegetable. I said, what you doing with vegetables and calamari, bro?
Right.
Hey man, get me out of here, man. I don't want
get me out of here.
Man, we just turned the culture just turned on Red Lobster, bro. Like 2010.
Hey man,
come on now.
And I used to have a homegirl used to be a waitress at Red Lobster. So I used to take all the little honey dips there. I be like, hey, nah, don't worry about it, girl. Come on here and get them snow crab legs. You feel me?
now we got these juicy crabs and all that stuff now. We got all these mukbangs and stuff. Like, it's just not good enough anymore. It's like Moscato. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just pass through.
Exactly. I want to be in DC and get some of them crabs straight out the water, though.
Right.
Just you could pick one and just.
Yeah, I just grab it straight out the box. Like, hey man, give me a whole bushel of them joints. You know what I'm saying? I take them home. I treat them right.
I'll treat them right.
Oh my god.
Okay. But before we get to the next question, You seem to be a purveyor of like just fine restaurants or whatever, a patron of fine restaurants. What is the one thing on your mind that you would recommend when somebody's in DC, given that it's a great seafood town? Like, name the spot just off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, I'm gonna go ahead and admit I think Baltimore actually has better seafood than DC. Baltimore, people forget about Baltimore. It's only like it's under an hour away, so I think the Baltimore area actually has better crab cakes than DC. I think DC is really commercialized, so I'll have to go with either Jimmy's Seafood, or G&M. They have really good crab cakes, big crab cakes.
Okay.
And that's a staple in this area too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, before we get to the next relationship question, I wanted to give some feedback on the first question too. The reason why I asked it because I feel like because it's kind of setting up the next question that we're going to go into. I feel like a lot of people, like younger people anyway, they're very influenced by social media, like to a point where that's where they seek their advice.
Right.
And I say that because I live with a teenager, which is my sister, and I have another sister who's a teenager as well. And they always are asking me questions based on stuff they hear on TikTok. Yeah. Especially relational things. So they're like, "Oh, well, I heard this TikTok said da da da. Is that true?" And it's like, no, it's not. But right. Or it is true to this extent. Or let me share an experience that I had to help you better understand what this person is talking about. Because I just feel like the topic of relationship, sex, all that is a lot more accessible these days, and a lot challenging to monitor. Because, with TikTok in particular, like, you have kids on there as young as like 13, 14 years old, probably even younger than that, because they probably have their parents' phone. Right. And like anything filters in their For You page. So you have, content for children, but then sometimes you have some people that's just half naked on there doing things, and now your kid is exposed to this, and they have questions, or they don't even have questions. So it's like if the parents aren't having these conversations regularly, they're just gonna be they're just gonna say, "Oh, well, this person on TikTok did this, so this is how I'm supposed to live my life." And so I think on that side, I think sometimes like people look up to like these influencers and things, and this is how they decide to kind of speak their truth, or this is how they decide to live when it comes to just, well, this person said in order to build a meaningful relationship, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, how many times have you questioned that to figure out like what does that look like for you? And so it's just like I think sometimes it can seem like we hold on to people's words as if like they're the expert, when it's like we're all experiencing life, and that's just happened to be their journey. Now, if you take some of their advice and you use it and it's helpful to you, then that's cool. But I think sometimes like there's no filter. It's just like, well, he said that, I value this person, so I'm gonna do it.
Right. For me, when it comes to that, I'm glad you mentioned a few things. What a lot of people don't know is that the food that you guys see actually comes from, like, I can't say a dark place, but when I moved back up here, I was just trying to find myself, and I wasn't working, but I wasn't dating either. I chose not to date. I took 4 years off from dating, and the food that you see is actually like, it started as like a self-love, and I would just share that experience with Facebook, and I took time to myself to get over some past relationships and past hurt before this therapy and mental health movement really kicked off, especially within the Black community. I feel like right now we're taking it more serious now, but that's new.
Yeah.
And so the food thing came about really because I chose to like date myself and spend time with myself, and I told myself, like, I love the thought of my wife so much right now. I'm taking care of business right now, personal business. I don't want anybody to survive Jared. I want to be an experience.
Yeah.
And it happens when you come to the table like free and clear. Like we all have our challenges, but I want to minimize those things. Like I don't want somebody to be tired by the time we get to the altar. They're like, man, I'm tired of it. We spent a whole year together. I'm already tired. You know.
Yeah.
I want somebody to get excited. Like, man, it's been fun. It's been a year already. Man, let's go. I want that type of attitude. But I love the thought of her so much right now. I'm willing to like not be in toxic relationship leading up to her. So when I see them flags popping off, baby, I'm out of here. I am out.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
I think that's a good point.
By the way.
That's a good point because it kind of emphasizes like what you were saying earlier. Like people are asking what they want, but they're not really preparing for what they need to bring to the table in order for that to happen. Because it's always like you ask like this, you ask for like, God, I want this, but what are you doing to prepare to receive this, and this? How can you even recognize if this, and this is what you actually want if you're not even taking the time to work on yourself?
For example, big example, like everybody wants to be some kind of. We've all had NFL or NBA aspirations, but we're not putting in work in that gym. We're not doing the things to get to that level.
Yep.
And our emotions and past hurts the same way. I always say like just be the person you wanna come in contact with. But we're just a lot of us are sitting by, just want somebody to just deal with the things we have going on. It just don't work like that.
Right. I mean, I agree. Like, you have to put in the work, just like they say, be the friend you want to be. Same thing in relationships. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, a lot of people just like, oh, well, I have this going on, but someone's just gonna accept little old me without me doing any work. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what's up. And then when we get to like even the counseling level, or even like at the marriage level, then they're like, well, oh wait, I was supposed to change. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I think another thing for me is like I'm country. I'm way more country than I thought. And, like I'm spoiled country. Like I grew up off of being fed by grandma, cooked with love.
Yes.
And that ball has been dropped. So that's like the first ball that got dropped this generation. And so when I hear women say, "I need a man that's gonna pay all the bills and X, Y, and Z," my first one is like, how you gonna treat that man? Because the brother that's out here getting it like that, I want to smell something. Hey, that's my love.
Want them pots talking.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type of guy that's taking care of business like that is not interested in hot pockets for dinner. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not some old country dude from Georgia like myself. Yeah, maybe if you're tired or something like that, but we're not living like that. So you want this guy that you can't even support or love properly, and that's where I get lost.
Yeah.
Hey man, cause just like one of my folk used to do, he came in the house and touched the stove, and I was like, hey man, why you touching the stove? He was like, shoot, man, this stove colder than it is outside. Ain't nobody did nothing in the house today. I'm hungry than the moon. And I was like, hey man,
oh bro.
And that way she got up, she said, well, I guess I got fish or something to eat. I was like, hey man, I said, I'm gonna use that one day. I ain't been able to use it yet. I'm glad.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, but I want to speak to something that Mella said also about social media being such an influence on how people present themselves. I think what I've seen in certain spaces is that social media has made us kind of like monolithic. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll literally go to a spot and everybody is dressed the same. Everybody talks the same. Everybody, you know, says the same stuff, the same catchphrases, the same. And it's just like, bro, sis, stop lying so much. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, tell the truth for once in your life. Like, golly, man. Like, you know, I just wish people would be just more free to be, you know, as nuanced as they actually are. Like, and it's a shame because you get to find out how nuanced someone is, but only when you break through that layer they present to social media. Right. Some people are comfortable enough to present that, but not everybody is. And it's a shame because there's like there's so many great people out there, man, but they don't present themselves because of what's out there, what they feel like they have to be in social media, to the point where people become like monolithic. It's kind of
but I mean, but that's taught through, you know what I'm saying? And growing up in the Black community, man, that's so common, you know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to be something that they think that society or their friends will accept. You know what I'm saying? And then that come ingrained because then you see you may see Susie Q over there like what that front that guy putting on or she think is real, you know what I'm saying? And then it manifests from a young age, like because just like I'm gonna tell you the most powerful thing I heard when I was a kid. My oldest cousin told me that he was like, "Hey man, you cool just like you will." You know what I'm saying? And then from that on, I just stayed being me. You know what I'm saying? I just like, that's my big cousin. That's the one I respect the most. You know what I'm saying? When he told me I was cool, I was straight. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, like, yeah, man, I listen to rock music, man. I know I don't supposed to, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I like it. I watch MTV. You know what I'm saying? I watch everything, man. I listen to everything because I listen to all kinds of music. And like I tell people, it's like I don't hide this stuff. And I try my best to be authentic because that's one of the things that my wife fell in love with. She said, "You are consistently who you are."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't try to show people, and I ain't finna try to act like I'm the most intelligent guy in the room because I'm not. I'm gonna be the one to ask the dumb question if need be. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what men and women have to get comfortable with, being uncomfortable. Just like get uncomfortable with the person that you fronting to be. Get comfortable with the person you are. You know what I'm saying? Get comfortable looking at that person in the mirror and just becoming you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they front so long, so much that they don't even know who they are no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how men get detached from their emotions and stuff like that because the world will tell you don't supposed to feel. The world will tell you don't supposed to cry. Everything like that. And now you detached from it, but then you in a relationship that all that stuff is required and needed and necessary. You don't need to know how to tap into it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to know what it feels like to have somebody that genuinely care about you and not asking you to confront you, but just asking you out of pure concern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, man. We won't grow out of that. We have to.
Yep.
I love what Chris said. He said relationships fail because people try to change everything about themselves to fit someone else's narrative, and they lose themselves and then start to build resentment instead of growing in love. Like I think that definitely summarized what you were just talking about, Darius J. I think it's not good and not healthy to try to fit into someone else's narrative. And I think even so, and if I'm being transparent, I think that's something that I fell into as well in my past relationship, the patterns of it, trying to be something that I know that I wasn't, only to be accepted, and then feeling like I was resenting my true self because I was like, well, if you don't like this part of me now, I'm going to kind of suppress that and try to be something else so that we can be cool. I mean, I'll do that now, but I was looking at my younger days, just trying to figure stuff out, and also going through therapy, unpacking trauma, things that happened in my life younger that affected the decisions that I continue to make in relationships thereafter. So I definitely agree with that statement, Chris. Thank you for sharing that.
Amen.
So we'll get into this next question. So I feel like these days a lot of more people are actually being willing to be single than rather being in a relationship with people. Do you feel that way? And if so, why do you feel that could be possibly the thing?
I am going to be super open right now. I want a wife and have a family, have kids, but it's crossed my mind a lot to like go to one of those fertilization clinics and just like fertilize an egg and just like forget the woman, forget the whole wife piece. That's been on my heart heavy. And that's one thing I'm battling now because I've had more headaches from potential partnerships and I've felt like I would actually benefit from them. And I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I think people are generally, more so now choosing peace and a personal quality of life. But it's sad, like we can't take an adult route and say, you know what, first of all, let me acknowledge I have an issue with this. We're not acknowledging our own challenges and our own issues, and it's just a domino effect to how you approach a relationship. But that's where I am. I am actually at this point. I'm choosing like peace of mind, I've accepted like I'm gonna be the old sexy uncle. They got a little paper, a little walking around money. That's what it's looking like right now. You know what I mean? But I've also realized like I like older women, and to me, I like older women and women that have at least one kid. That has usually worked out for me. I'm learning the difference in like certain general qualities that a woman with that's been married before or has a kid, they just come to the table real different. That selfishness that single folks have, that kid snatch it right up out of them, and that's where I'm able to like, you know what, I could do this. She's more likely to have certain qualities. Tend to be less bratty. She don't have time to be bratty if she's a single mom. She's in planning mode. She's in executing mode. She's always in a space where she's doing, and that's where I can insert myself and be effective. She's gonna notice. For example, I did a woman. She had 3 kids from a marriage. Right. I would come into her house, and it might be like 8:30. I would wash her dishes, and that would shorten her day. Wash dishes, I might get the bathroom. So coming in and really being effective and being appreciated versus a woman that that I would typically cross paths with that didn't have any real responsibility. She like, oh, he a sucker. Girl, I got to do hit the bathroom for me. You know what I'm saying? Like washing my dishes. You know? And so it's just like, man, I'm really realizing like, though it sounds great to have this clean start with somebody, where I really am appreciated is actually over here with a woman that's 45 and a woman that has 2 kids. So I'm learning like maybe I should stick within those demographics and go from there.
And the thing is too, on the other side of that too, because I remember my first serious relationship, I was 20 years old and my girlfriend was 24 and she had a 6-year-old.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, what I see a lot too is that, see, you're the type of dude that, okay, you cherish the situation. You're like, okay, how can I make her day? How can I, make this easier? How can, you know what I mean? Like, instead of, I see a lot of dudes be like, oh, I'm coming over to the crib. Why is the kid still up? You know what I mean? Like that's terrible, man. That is terrible.
Man.
Selfish.
You got to at least beat them in Madden or something. You know what I'm saying?
But that's real. That's
bro,
real.
For real. Like I used to show up, bro. I used to beat them in Madden and help them eat their snacks. I'd be up there drinking juice, eating animal crackers, giving that boy life lessons.
Right. You gotta engage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to, but you're right. All you guys are right. Like before you get to that point of like sometimes having a one-on-one with her, you might have to grab a quick little 8-piece, because she tied 8-piece with a few sides, wrestle him on the floor, him or her on the floor, whatever, and that freed her up to do whatever, have a little moment to herself, and then y'all can enjoy time together. But you're right. If somebody's coming to the house and Mac, your kids still up, you already know what they're there for. You already know what's on their heart. It's not about the quality time. It's like, man, I was trying to come over here for a little bit and be out.
Some of that horizontal mambo.
I haven't heard that in so long. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Funny. But yeah, man, like it's a two-way street. Like that selfishness, I feel like, because I feel like on the male side of the game, all we do is just shame ladies for the situation. Like, even though it's like it's life. This is their life. Like they didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like this is life right now. How are you going to engage with this woman, with this child right now? You know what I mean? As opposed to just making jokes and memes and stuff, and like, she this and she that for not putting her kids to sleep. Like,
yeah,
this is dumb.
Man, because it's levels to it, man, and I agree with all that, because it's just like, man, I mean, I dated people that were older than me all my life. You know what I'm saying? My wife is 4 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I found peace and serenity with people that were older than me, because they ain't have like a lot of mess. They was always about their business.
Yes.
They was always handling business.
Yes.
And the thing of it is, you know what I'm saying, you as a man, and you're an executor, and you're a person that want to do something, you have an agenda. When you have things that you could do, you know what you could do is properly execute and help the relationship. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, just like you said with young folk, man, you get a bunch of mess, man, and you just like, I don't even feel like dealing with it. I didn't even know you think like that for real. Lord have mercy, your brain. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is, because it's just like it's just be more lighter, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, like they already know what they know what life about, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't about what everybody assume it to be, like being out in people's face all the time, and, you know what I'm saying, always trying to spend money. And the older ladies, they know that, hey, we got to stack this paper, we got to make something, we got to build security, we got to build legacies. Everybody else would be like, I'm trying to get a Birkin bag. You know how much a Birkin bag cost, girl?
Bruh.
I buy you a Birkin bag. You are my property.
and Mella, you listening to our conversation, but you gotta wait a few years to date a younger cat. Like these young cats are nuts now. You gotta wait.
I'm about to say. You gotta wait.
I experienced them through the next question I'm going to ask, so I'm going to reserve but no, I'm just listening and taking everything that you're taking in, everything that you guys are saying. I do feel like there's this culture like of shaming single people, like it's like you, like they kind of, I think we kind of talk about this in episodes like in past or just in our conversations offline. But how like marriage is like this goal that people like fight for, and they feel like this is like the next step in life. And so like you start to get those questions from like the older people. In my case, it's actually my younger sisters, that's just weird. But it's just like, why are you not dating yet? You're 30 years old. Why you don't have kids and all this stuff? And it's just like, it's not a priority to me right now. But I know that's also in tandem with they don't really know what I've went through in my life to get to where I am right now as a whole person. Right. So, I mean, one is ignorance. So they don't know what they don't know. And that's a conversation that I will potentially have with them, you know, when they're mature and ready to have that conversation. But then on the other side of for me is just like going back to what Jared says, like peace of mind, you know, like just talking to people and getting to know them in this season of just dating is just like, man, like, it's like I don't get it. Like we're talking and then I meet you in person and it's a completely different energy, or you don't know how to hold a conversation and I'm always initiating. It's like, come on, man. It's like, and this is older and younger people. Yeah. So it's like you said, they put on this facade of like who they want to project themselves to be. And then you start to have those deep conversations, or you start to ask questions so that you can have deep conversations and still surface, or it's not. You know, it's like, I'm trying to initiate this conversation. So I'm just like, hey, it was cool while it lasted. I'm just going to keep pushing because I'm on a different energy right now.
Right.
So I just think that's a part of why I choose to be single in this season. But I also choose to be single because I'm still working on myself. Like I'm still learning how to love myself. And I think that is a big part in how I'm going to be able to bring and add value to my husband in the future. So it's like kind of like what you said, I think I'm on the same wavelength of just like, I'm just trying to love me because I haven't done that. I've been wrapped around in so many relationships in my life. That was my life. Relationship after relationship. I break up with somebody. I miss a relationship with someone. That was my identity. I'm no longer trying to identify myself like that. I'm trying to figure out who I am outside of another person.
There you go.
So I just think that I feel like, but I see that a lot now. Like people desire relationship. They desire marriage. I do too. I'm not going to say that I don't desire to be married and have a family. I would love to do that. I have the privilege to be able to do that. But for me right now, I just feel like I'm meeting no quality people that are on the same energy level that I am. And it's disappointing a little bit. So, yeah. But maybe they're in the same spot too. They just really learn how to love themselves as well. So it's like, you know, trying to find the balance and all that. Which kind of brings me to dating in general. I think the pandemic has caused people to resort to dating apps in this season. And then also you have COVID as a factor now, where you're not as physical or meeting people in person as much as you were, you know, in the past. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer dating apps or like the traditional way of meeting people? And then how does that even work in a world like we live in now?
I prefer a little bit of both because it's typically guys spending money, being out and about. Because promoters know if you get the ladies in the spot, you can tax dudes whatever. We're gonna be paying 20 at the door. Paying for some drinks. We get taxed. So,
Right.
dating apps have saved me money of having these preliminary conversations for nothing. Tinder was free, so you can kind of at least converse a little bit, and then get their number, and then before, aside from trying to go to a happy hour and drop 40-50 bucks and maybe pay for a couple of drinks, it's like it didn't end up in being nothing.
Right.
And so for me, I've embraced the technology, mainly Facebook. That's where I'm on most time, Facebook. I've met some dope people on Facebook. It's like just life circumstances that didn't allow things to progress. It was something I was gonna say. I forgot. I think also people. I know through the pandemic, people actually relationships actually started failing. It's like I think people were actually forced to deal with their reality. There weren't the 12-hour shifts at work and the 4 hours 3 or 4 hours at night where you had a chance to dodge having conversations or tapping in to actually spend time with your partner or your kids. I think a lot of people realize man, I hate the situation that I'm in. Work was really saving me. Being at work was saving me. So I've heard that a lot, even on my job. It was like, man, the wife is getting on my nerves, man. I don't know if I really like her like that. And so what do you do? What do you do? But why would you marry somebody that you can't spend time with like that?
Man,
exactly.
What were y'all doing? What were y'all doing? If I tell myself this, because I don't build my relationships off the 5-star experience. If me and you can't sit on the sofa and crack jokes and just the country way, country, bro. We sit on the porch and crack jokes. If we can't have moments like that, bro, I do not want it. If we can't have a 10-piece wing at the house and a little drink at the house,
hey. Facts.
Yeah,
that's facts. That's facts.
So it's because time.
Yeah, because it's all about spending time, and people don't know how to put quality of time. They don't know how to put the quality on the time. You know what I'm saying? They just know. They just always trying to put quantity. You know what I'm saying? They just how much money you spend? How much? Where were we at? Did you create the ambiance? Hey man, I'm the ambiance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm the ambiance. You know what I'm saying? I know, just cause that's why I always told people I knew. People used to ask me all the time, why you ain't married? Why you ain't married? Everybody around me was getting married and stuff like that. I just I told people I ain't ready, man. I'm telling you, I'm crazy in a way you don't want me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to be around nobody that one thing I appreciate about my wife the most is that she know how to carry a conversation.
Oh,
I don't have to. I don't have to entertain her. It ain't like I'm sitting on the phone and she be like, "Well, why you ain't talking to me?" I ain't never hear that from my wife.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because she know how to carry a conversation. Because you know what, she interested. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god,
major.
You just said a word right there, man.
Bro, you brought it in. And I did not realize I needed conversation until I wasn't working, and I spent most of my time reading. And so for me, sharpening myself actually brought out. I was able to contribute to conversation. I'm like, man. So this physical part is cool, but I really need this intellectual stimulation, the ability to go back and forth, the ability to throw a topic out there and give a decent and educated perspective on it, whether it's politics, black issues, socioeconomic issues. I was able to touch all that stuff, and then we can just keep it light. It don't have to be that deep.
Right.
I got a real personality, So once I found myself, bruh, it was a wrap. It was over with.
Because that's what I be telling people. Because that's the one thing that I tell people, man. I can have a conversation about anything with my wife. I can say anything. We be sending each other reels of funny stuff we find on Instagram. We just talk about everything. I can talk to her about everything. Outside of my best friend, my wife is the most talked to person that I talk to, because I could call her in the middle of the day and she may have something serious, and then I crack a joke on somebody at a job, because I got a nickname for everybody at a job, and we just have good conversation, man, and we just, you know what I'm saying, like I tell people, like, yo, man, learn how to build your mental, because I said you can't speak to nobody's spirit without words. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people don't understand that being able to speak to people, it builds the relationship even more. It fortifies it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that person know that, like, hey, I can come to you with something and we'll be able to talk about it and it won't be no problem.
Right.
And to women, be that place where that man, if you want that man to be emotional, be open to receive it.
Ooh.
Be open to receive it. If you ain't open to receive what he putting down, don't ask that for that man, because once he give it and you betray his feelings, it's over.
Oh, he just got a whole word just there.
And you know what all of that comes from? All that conversation, all that caring, all that, you know, all those good things in a quality relationship comes from the fact that she is interested in you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's talk about this. Do y'all really want somebody that you have to, like, you just trick them into wanting you? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just gonna make her want me.
Gotcha.
You know, like, stupidest flex of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So many people, so many interesting people that you meet that are into you, that have an actual relationship with you, that you have shared life with, that know your goals, your innermost fears, and you pass on all of them for that baddie on Instagram.
You talking about the friend? You talking about the friend zone?
Exactly. I mean, there's a balance to it, though. I want somebody who wants me. That's a big. That adds attraction to me. Someone who's into me.
It does. Yeah.
Facts. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because it wasn't until late I was like, not talking to her just on the looks, like, oh, she's all right. But when you start hitting those other points, those common interests, the having fun, you're like, oh man, like, because we're guys, we're physical, we're hunters, oh man, she's gorgeous. But you're exactly right. Some of the most beautiful women I've ever spoken to and met had zero personality, because they never had to have one to get the attention they wanted.
That's a real thing.
Wow,
that's a real thing.
And some of the most half naked women around year round, because it's like it'll get 10 degrees in DC, and they still be. I said, it's cold. It's okay to have a personality. You gotta be naked all year round.
All your life.
All right.
Yeah, it's like,
maybe read a book or something to help.
Right. Have something to talk. You chose to be naked in pneumonia weather. Now pneumonia and COVID weather. Before you go read a book, a paragraph, some talking points, some bullet points. You chose them. I'd rather just be naked. I'd rather be sick on Monday. It's all right. Like,
I'll take me some tussing.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
So you guys are 100% right when it comes to that personality and just having things that you have in common. That adds to the attraction for sure. And that's something I because I'm in a season now, bro. I'm like, I look at my friend request list. I'm like, sheesh, they bad. I don't know how they heard about Lil Me, but they bad. They are bad. I'm trying to not hit the confirm, because it's nothing new. I'm not saying just because she's attractive.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any personality, but I'm really sticking to my guns with what I like, what I know that works. Yeah. And I'd rather have somebody who is I still find attractive, but that personality, those interpersonal skills, man, are on point.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes that bond is unique to you. Like that same attractive person with no personality, someone's gonna bring out some kind of personality. It's just not you, bro. That's it.
I mean, that's true. That's real.
Don't take it so personal. Like, move on to somebody who actually wants you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was so many make mistakes all the time. And I tell people like, hey man, she ain't interested in you, or he ain't interested in you. You trying to make this person interested in you. Think by you over talking, over stalking, over walking is gonna make this person be more interested in you. No, you just gonna been got so far down the road, you don't know where you at no more. And guess what? That person gonna hop on the next bus, take it to the next town. Now you left where you at.
Yeah.
Right. I think my experience has been a little bit different than what you guys are kind of explaining. Like just my experience, like from a woman's perspective, and just trying out the dating app, trying out the old-fashioned way, just meeting up with people and stuff like that. I feel like I've been getting a lot of people who like are rushing. Like I'm trying to build a friendship. I kind of avoid futuristic questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like I want to build a friendship. Like I think in being intentional about that, I think those are things that I'll find out as we continue to build. But sometimes like I start talking to someone or we're, just having a very cordial conversation. And then like 2 or 3 weeks in, it's like, so, when are we going to date? And I'm just like, well, we just started talking and I don't feel comfortable. And then for me as a woman, I don't feel comfortable unless like we've had a couple of conversations and like, I'm eager to meet you too. Like if I don't feel that, I'm not about to just meet up with you just for the sake of like, oh, I want to see if you. That's what FaceTime is for. Okay, you match your profile picture. Okay, cool. All right. But it's like until I feel like I'm vibing with you is when I'll like be more susceptible to like hang out with you. So I just feel like sometimes when I tell people like, no, I'm really not here for that. Da, 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 it seems like the pattern that I've experienced is like they try to conform to a person so they can actually get to that part as opposed to being genuine. And I can tell because it's like when I'm asking you questions and I'm trying to have a genuine conversation, it's like you're almost telling me what I want to hear so that you can get what you want. And I'm like, I've had too many experiences not to notice what's going on here. So you're not answering the question, you're answering in the way that you think I want to hear it, but I really want to hear your true perspective. Like I want you to have your own opinion. Don't try to conform to it to make it sound good and look good and make me feel like this is like I could tell. So it's like I try to be genuine. I try to be like I just want to be your friend. That's it. There's nothing else. If it goes there, then cool. Let it organically go there. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm not trying to rush. But that's been my experience. It's like very rushed. Like one guy in particular, like literally, I said I'm here for friendship. I'm not trying to date like. Exclusively, I'm just trying to get to know people. So you're not the only person I'm talking to. So just go ahead and put that out there too. Like I'm really just getting to know people in this season, building friends. And then after a week, he's like, I think we're done being friends. I want to date. And I'm like, and I think we're done being friends. Goodbye. Like it's like.
I think it's very telling. I never thought I'd see the day where I would see more guys pressing the envelope for a relationship. Is generally seen as more women, but I think some guys actually trying to come around, but we don't know how to come around and be involved and take the courtship phase. It's like this is not like this is not Walmart, bro. It's not like you just walk up like, hey, come with me. It's not like that. So it's this pressure. For example, my mom started pressing me about a wife and kids in 8th grade, and I was just like, because she would say it was this passive aggressive stuff. It was like, get your education, go out to college, meet your wife and have some kids. I'm like, can I just get through this math problem?
Right.
And so it just doesn't help when you have mom, she ready for grandkids, you have, your friend circle, everybody's getting married and you attending the weddings. So it's like, there's this internal clock for a lot of us, but I never thought I'd see more guys in that space. But Mella, I'm gonna say this: there's so much that we have not learned as men. There's a lot, and society expects for us to just know. Well, you're a man. Just man up and just do man stuff.
And what does that look like?
And half of it toxic and wrong. Like like nobody told us to hug your kids. Like it's just been this rough love.
You feel me?
you know, and so you just grow up cold and like halfway doing stuff. Nobody talked about love languages. Nobody.
Bruh,
That's within the
nobody.
past couple of years. You know, marital counseling. No, like because we came about through survival. Half of our grandmothers, if we were honest, if we're being honest, half of our grandmothers were not even happy, bro. They stay with
you ain't lying. You are not lying, bro.
You are
they
preaching.
stayed with granddaddy because she didn't have a trade. The deep Southern views of Christianity, God hate divorce. All that played a factor in like what Granny did. Where was she gonna go?
Talking.
She done had 12 kids too.
12
strapped out.
And then he he take you over there to play with what you thought was your friends, them actually your half brothers and half sisters.
I'm trying to tell you.
You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I'm saying, like that stuff like that. I be telling people, I said, because like I tell people all the time, I said I never experienced my grandparents having a conversation, like sitting there and talking about like current events or things going on. Most of the time they sat and watch TV in silence and expecting me to shut up.
Separate rooms.
And I just be looking like, so y'all we just gonna not say nothing to each other.
Address that situation.
Right.
And I like I tell people, I was like, bro, we come, and that's when people be putting those little stereotypes on. Hey, we need to stay together like grandma and granddaddy did back in the day. Man,
no, we don't.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Man, grandma wanted to hear granddaddy was hot grits plenty of time having singing like Al Green. You know what I'm saying? And I be telling people like, man, y'all don't even know it because just like you said, that was survival. The man was out there working. You know what I'm saying? Providing for the household and bringing everything back to the house. You know what I'm saying? And man felt like he was doing that. He could go do what he want to do because he's like, look, my family providing for it. They got clothes on the back, eating food and stuff like that. I can go do out there. Hey, that's Sister Shirley. She, you know, that's how they got down. But but that's the thing, like you said, we can't just man up, be a man. We don't even know what a man is half the time.
Because we don't have an example.
We don't.
We out here following false prophets. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Ain't even really holding down their family, man. But like I tell people all the time, I say the best thing you can do is go out here and figure out. And that's why I'm so big in the mentorship, and that's why I talk to my nephews and stuff all the time. I tell them like, "Hey, man, that right there ain't what you think it is. This how you process this." You know what I'm saying,
Chris?
It was all transactional with granddad bring on the cash, grandma flipping up that nightgown, taking off that moo.
Chris, goodbye. Go away. Go away.
Exactly. And she went happy about it. She just knew that how the lights was gonna keep turning on and on.
Right. Yeah.
You said a mouthful because now it prompts this question of like even the whole like you're in 8th grade, you're trying to get to this math problem. They already thinking into the future. And I just feel like this survival mentality because being able to talk to my grandma and just learn about her experience growing up for herself, becoming a mother at a very young age, you know, staying with her husband who, you know, God rest his soul, passed away in 2017. However, like learning about their culture at the time and then what was susceptible, you know, thinking about religion as well, you know, being a Christian, divorce is not the question. So now you're staying in these hurtful, destructive relationships, and that is your norm. So like for me, in general, I grew up in a very matriarchal environment. I was raised by my great grandmother and my grandma. My mom had me when she was 14 years old as well. So it was very women led.
Hey, so man, the South ain't known for pulling out.
So
that man just said it. He just gonna say it.
Wow, this is not a family channel anymore, guys. We have transitioned over to PG-13.
Uncut, baby.
PG-13 because they do have those type of innuendos in PG-13 movies now. But anyways, to finish my thought, it makes sense because it's like when now I'm interested in when older person is like not forcing you, but like questioning you of why you're not doing it, where is it coming from? Because it's not coming from what you experienced. Because I would hope that you would want me to experience what you had to go through in a marriage. So why is it so important that I have somebody to take care of when I'm still learning how to take care of myself? And that's something that they didn't do for themselves because their lives were wrapped up in everything else. So you think about my grandmother, she was young. She had my uncle when she was young. So she's been a mother. And then when my mom had me, she was my mother. So it's like, when did she have time for herself? When did she have time to really, like, that's what she's now doing in her older life. But how many years have been taken from her because she's been providing for everybody else but herself?
You know what? I look at my own life. Like my mom, I have a twin sister. My mom she got pregnant when she was at Georgia State at like 23 years old. I'm like, 23 with twins? Like, our folks never had a chance to go to brunch and, have bottomless mimosas, bro. Like,
you feel me? Like, for
they
real.
never had a chance to do that. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna stay in town, high school diploma, stay in town, whatever. And it's like factory job, have kids, and it was like, you never had a chance to step out. You never had a chance to get a nice dinner for yourself, you know, without us as kids. Mommy, I want some. You already know how it go. Couldn't even get a bag of Doritos without us doing that.
Start rattling a bag, and it's like,
kids come around the corner, and it's like this lifestyle was just pushed on folks, and I really had a chance to, like love them. For example, I was in New York, probably 2 years ago now, and we had worked hard. As a matter of fact, it was the United Nations. We call it UNGA, United Nations General Assembly. World leaders come to New York, whatever. And this is like shortly after the Salt Bay went viral. I found out his restaurant was 3 or 4 blocks away from my hotel. I already knew what time it was. I just had to make the time.
Experience time.
Right. It's experience time. And so being at a place where you actually give yourself time to be established and love on yourself like that, which is huge. I don't want to come in breaking even like, I just got this job, but guess what? I got this family too, And so now you breaking even on your experience because everything you got as a man, because society told you as your provider, is outgoing. You barely got money for haircut money now, but your kids got shoes on their feet, a wife looking good, you a little scruffy, but hey, society told you that's how it's supposed to be. But I had a chance to like really, because I know these, unless I really start bringing some extra money, I'm not bringing a family forward to Naseret to eat because one was it 32 ounce, 33 ounce tomahawk steak, $275. You feel what I'm saying?
I would enjoyed every bit of that,
brother. Darius, I'm here to tell you,
bro. I can see it.
One of the best things I've ever had.
But that ain't no family restaurant.
That ain't no family restaurant.
It ain't no family restaurant. It's not for the average, Joe Blow. Now you take your wife there for anniversary type. Because I spent like almost $500 because it was a la carte side. I said, if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna come in halfway do it. But I say all that to say this: people are losing out on these self-love experiences because they're going into a phase where they actually should be selfish. In your 20s, like if you just find somebody in your 20s and it works, cool.
Great.
Cool. Yeah. But me personally, I cannot ride this wave of like jumping into something I'm just not quite ready for. Because now I've only benefited. I feel like me and my wife, future wife, only going to benefit from us not being married 10 years ago. She probably didn't like me because I was a different dude. Dude. But the chance to give myself a chance to number one, be happy with my career, because one of my biggest fears has always been having to stick with the job because my family depend on it. And now I gotta go deal with people for 8 to 12 hours a day. I got to. There's no chance of retraining because Lil Bookie, she need diapers. We don't have a space of lapse of income. So Mella, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I know you run off a biological clock like most women, but it's a good thing that you setting up boundaries and setting a tone, because if you don't draw that line, the guys are gonna draw it for you. Keep loving on yourself, and figuring out what Mella wants to do and who she is and what type of man that you want and need, write it down. I'm just not learning the power of writing this stuff down, because it's like you're officially acknowledging, like, hey, this is what I want. Because if you don't, any and everything will come to your gate at you. Any and everything will come your way. So you have time. You have more time than you think. I would say, in my humble opinion, more time you think. Don't feel rushed. Choose your happiness. Choose your happiness, because I'd rather do it late than do it wrong.
Yep.
That part.
Yeah,
I
man.
agree.
Yeah, man. And just like one more thing about like when people are getting to know each other, and they ask what I call these idealistic questions, right? Or you know what I mean? Like, or what somebody wants to hear, right? Like, oh, what are your life goals? Oh, what are your,
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, that's right. The whole thing. And it's just like, it's almost like if we were watching a football game, guys, and people are like, the two commentators are giving you the keys to the game. All right. And everybody knows in football, if you run the football and stop the run on the other side and stop the passing game and make interceptions and score on special teams, you're going to win the game, right? But then that's how everybody would want to win the game. How is this team going to win the game? That's what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to know yourself and just kind of like, okay, put yourself out there. You know what I mean? So that you come up with your keys. You know what I mean? Like, not like just, okay, these idealistic things. Everybody wants somebody who makes money, cleans, and cooks. Everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna tell you, oh, nah, cooking, nah.
I don't need that.
Nah. Right.
You know what I mean? Or like just ask real questions.
Yeah,
I think I'll address what Mel was saying.
So what I've done, man, is to kind of help it out. I don't get paid for this, but little stuff like this I see on IG, these cards and stuff like that really help promote, just different
conversation
perspectives.
starters.
Conversation starters. This is something you can do over FaceTime, because I like a long distance relationship for real. But stuff like that is learned. Was right. It's helped me understand and bring up conversation about childhood naturally. It ain't forced. It just comes up. How did you grow up? Oh, that's trauma field right there. That's you were taking time bomb, baby.
Listen,
listen,
compartmentalize. What do I share?
Right. So that's, for me, that's a more organic way. I have a few card games actually. To ask the question that count, man. But it brings out the more organic fashion. But you're right, Steve. You're right, bro.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's something that I continue to work on, not asking the generic questions. So I do the same thing too. I might actually need to get some cards like that too, just for conversation starters, because I just think sometimes I kind of run out of like questions to ask, because I'm like, well, I just want it to be organic, but then you still have to ask something to generate conversation.
I ask weirdo questions too. It'd be kind of deep and kind of off. I was like, man, what if you wake up? What if you wake up ugly? What would you do? Or like if you lost your private part in a freak car accident, how would you be able to maintain a relationship with the person of opposite sex?
You know what? That's a real question, though. It's depending on when you ask it, what phase of the relationship or friendship you ask.
Yeah.
Like becoming sick or disabled. Like how are you handling that? We like to think that illness comes at 70, 75 years old, but
no, it comes whenever it comes.
It's gonna come when it comes, right?
Yeah.
And you like how I look now, but if I lost a leg to diabetes or hypertension, whatever it is, where you at now? So that's real, bro. I tell you a book that really helped guide me through like manhood, like not manhood, but helped me understand it. Tony Evans' book, Kingdom Man.
Oh yeah.
Really, really, really good book. To the point, like it was some chapters I was standing up in the sofa. I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, like, okay, that's what I gotta be doing. That's what my head should be. But that was a really, really good book for me.
Yeah, and I even like just like broadening because we so used to staying in pockets, you know what I'm saying? Because even like sometimes I take my mom out to different places and try stuff that she might never try on her own. It's just like, nah, I just want to stretch you. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, just stretch you. Always had the ability to stretch. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, a lot of people don't want to stretch and don't want to tap into something that they ain't used to. But that's the thing that make you, you know what I'm saying, multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? Like it give you dimensions. You ain't just one dimensional. You ain't just linear. You can mold, bend, but not break. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and you have more things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You get to experience them because it's like my grandma, she never left the United States. She never left the South for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just like me, I don't been out the country. Don't did a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Country plenty of time. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like experiences, man, and do that in your singlehood too, man. Just experience life and broaden yourself. So when you come into that, you can offer that if they never been, you know, places and stuff like that. Because people, I tell people all the time, hey man, if you 20 something, you got a job that you can pay your bills with and stuff like that, you doing yourself an inconvenience and not have a passport.
Big inconvenience for sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a good conversation today.
Yeah, it was good. It was fire. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody out there, little naughty head boys, and little naughty head girls, I hope y'all learn something. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to talk on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Learn how to talk, period.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't want to talk about Drake records all the time.
Right.
Nobody don't care about your weed. Nobody don't care about that Hawaiian silk you got. You know what I'm saying? As long as it look decent, as long as it don't look like a Tyler Perry wig, that's all we care.
Anything but a Tyler Perry wig.
Exactly. And just grow. Look forward to growing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the best part of life that people always underestimate is just the growth aspect. Because people think if they stand the same, they safe. No, you're in the most unsafe position there is because you settle for mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're gonna be a mediocre person, mediocre people gonna meet you. But if you always moving, putting yourself in the place of opportunity, because opportunity don't come without work, you know what I'm saying? And growth don't come without work. You have to work to grow. You have to read, be introspective, dive deep into yourself and see what it is going on with you, and then keep moving. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find a newer you on the horizon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now let's just cap some things off with some final thoughts. So JR, if there's something you want to plug or just something from this conversation you want to highlight, now's the time to do it. We do this on our final thoughts segment. So what's your final thoughts?
I'll say this, it's about to be football season, so I'm gonna speak in football terms. If you hurt, get off the field. Get off the field. If you are hurt from prior relationships, do not try to jump out here and date. Get away from everybody and take your time to get right, so you can actually perform on a level that you want to perform and be desired the way you really want to be desired. Focus on you and the betterment of you, and just being somebody worth getting to know. That is my goal. I just want to be somebody worth getting to know, and go from there. Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. That's a good one. Final thought, Mella G.
Well, thank you so much, JR, for being on today and sharing your wisdom and experience. It's truly appreciated. My final thoughts would be, kind of echoing what JR was saying. It's just self-love is the best love. I think when you love yourself, and you're like me, I'm learning, a lot about myself that I didn't even know that I liked or that I disliked. And it's been a really cool experience. It's been very rewarding. I've been reading a lot more too. And not just like self-help books, but just books in general. Like I read in this book called Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. And I just love the way that he writes. and it kind of makes me more interested now. Now I'm actually reading more books about his autobiography and who he was as a person and what he contributed to society. And it makes me even understand that much more the way he writes. It's just amazing. And
that guy.
yes, so I would just say like seek to really like get into things that you thought that you would never get into because there may be the experiences that you're missing out on. I think in relationships, just like know your worth, know your value, know where you stand. And the only way to really know that is you take a deeper look inside of yourself so that you're not accepting any and everything just to be in a relationship or have the title or be with somebody that's not probably the best person for you. And you have to figure that out for yourself. I even think referencing back to what JR was saying, it's like there's a lot of gorgeous and handsome people out here, but sometimes that can be just a shell because once you start talking to people and getting to know them, you can realize that there's no personality there. And I think that's because they haven't taken the time. They put so much value on how they look that what they look like on the inside doesn't match. And so now they're projecting this image of how they want people to feel about them. But then when they open their mouth, it's like emptiness. So I just therapy, we are in that culture. So I'm always an advocate for therapy and self-care these days. I think it needs to continue to be more advocated more, especially in the Black community as well, especially kind of touching on just this whole survival mentality. Like that's been my thing this year is thriving, not living in the survival mentality because I don't have to,
Right.
So it's a choice. So make the decision to be healthier and make the decision to love yourself more. I think that'll be my final thoughts.
Well, that was a good one, Mel. Final thoughts, Stevie Neil.
Yes, great conversation. I would just like to commend a lot of single people that I know, like Mella, like JR, like a lot of my friends who, have remained single just because they are working the process of growing and experiencing things. Um, so I commend people for that because I think it can be real simple. I think men and women, I mean, somebody that you probably could date or marry right now, but would that be the right fit for you? And the answer is no. And so you're staying away from that situation,
Yeah.
So that's commendable. And just continue to enjoy your life, continue to have those experiences. I think it's been said on this program before, like, don't wait till you're married to travel. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have more time than you're ever going to have,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have kids.
Right.
So go ahead, go to the post office, get that passport photo taken, get that passport done, and go somewhere and experience some things. And you could even bring some friends along, but and it doesn't have to be a vacation or something like that. No,
exactly.
Vacation with friends.
Try cocaine once.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But what you want to do.
What is wrong with you, man?
Is like JR and Mel was saying, is those experiences teach you things. They teach you things about yourself that you can carry to the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's not just for flashy photos. Like you actually can learn something from being somewhere else and experiencing it with other people. So, that isn't your boyfriend or husband, or girlfriend or wife. So
that's facts.
That's my final thought.
Good job.
And final thought, Darius J.
Well, and all we don't talked about and all we don't say, it was all good stuff, man. And I like one thing that Jared said, you know what I'm saying, he don't want a person to survive him. He want to be an experience, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a good t-shirt. And I feel like that's the point where I feel like we have to get out of. We have to get out of the survival mode. I think in order for people to start experiencing us, we got to we need to learn how to live instead of survive. Yeah. And I don't think living is being taught a lot, especially in our community. We ain't taught to be men. We ain't taught to be women. We just they just give us a tagline and tell us to run with it, and we have to figure it out on our own. No roadmap, no blueprint, no nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I'm here to tell y'all, man, living is way different than surviving.
Man,
living is actually experiencing this life and being present and being available to be a part of things and a part of people, not in a transactional way all the time. Just be just like, nah, I just met this cool person. You know what I'm saying? While I was out just being me, you know what I'm saying? We ran across each other. You know what I'm saying? Male or female. But that's the thing, man. You can't do that if you're in survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, you closed off. You ain't letting people in. You ain't letting experiences of a life in. You just like, nah, all I need is these rations and I'm gonna just make it to next day.
Yep.
Can't live like that.
No.
That's the quickest way to the casket, is thinking you are gonna out survive yourself. Because the thing of it is, you scared of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You scared of the possibilities of what you could be. You know what I'm saying? Because you were taught that part of you, that dreaming part of you, was gonna get you in trouble when it actually browns your mind. Like you can go, you don't never know, man. Like people like, I know one song I listen to and it's a trip. You're like, man, high sky's the limit when I'm flying in it. You know what I'm saying? And I just like, ever since I heard that line, I was like, golly, that was heat right there, man. You're right. High sky's the limit when I'm flying in it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, this life it can be a good one if you choose to just live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to, ask somebody, man.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? Or listen to this podcast. We talk about living all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We even ask you how you're living. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a shallow thing, and it ain't by coincidence. You know what I'm saying? It's all just put together and orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? And we want everybody listening, everybody on the podcast, everybody that come through, share us and stuff like that. We want you to be able to live, man.
Yeah.
Get out that survival mode. We want you to be able, I don't want you to die with shoulda, coulda, wouldas on your chest. I don't want you to look at and you crying and you don't want to die because you know you ain't did nothing. I don't want to get before God and he be like, man, I had all this stuff I wanted you to do and become, but you just shoulda, coulda your way through life, and this is what you could have been. I don't want that to be the reason I go to hell. Because God might be like, that's the reason you're going to hell, because you didn't even take part of the life that I gave you.
Man, that is real. I think we all forget the fact he give us free will too, like, and the bonus to go, bro, go. Like, I think sometimes we some of us grow up in like over religious, churches, and sometimes we expect for the clouds to peel back and him to ride down the chariot and be like, "This is what you do next," and it's not like that. You're led in other areas that inner unction, conversations you have. Shoot, the one-on-one, the prayers, he gonna drop it on your spirit. I've learned, man, just go. And that's how I got here. My first trip, my first airplane ride was to boot camp, and that one trip broke me of being tied and mentally bound to Southeast Georgia. Because I took the leap. I think Darius actually said something. I remember being on the airplane and heart beating through my chest. I couldn't even sleep. Heart beating through my chest, and this lady was like, "Oh, you gonna hate boot camp? Da 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 da. They gonna terrorize you." I'm like, I almost let that fear seep into me, and I realized. I looked at her, looked at me. I was like, "You out of shape. That's why you hate boot camp. You can't you out of shape. You're not built for what I'm built for. I come from different stuff, baby. I come from different.
That's a word.
Don't speak your inadequacies on me.
So you're not built for what I'm built for.
I'm forged by fire. I'm forged by fire, and it's like you might be forged by bologna sandwiches, which is fine, but don't speak on what I got going on. So if you want to start a business, you gotta watch who you tell it to, because the people that you admire sometimes will actually cast that fear, like, oh, that's hard. You could have kept that to yourself. I know it's challenging. I ain't done it before, but you kept it to yourself. But that was some good stuff. Y'all spoke. Y'all said some real things, man, and I appreciate y'all having me on today.
Yeah, we glad to have you, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, carving out time for us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, carving out some time from protecting dignitaries and putting out fires and going to all them restaurants and giving that relationship advice.
I'm about to get some food now.
Same here.
But yeah, man, this is what it is. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, pass us around, spread us around like mayonnaise on bread. This was Conversate.
We talked about it.
Yes, y'all. So now it's that time to reveal the guest for episode 65. I'm right on the picture, Mella, so you don't have to drum your fingers as long. But Mella, drum roll, please. And so the guest for episode 65 is
the Maldonados.
Yeah, we're talking to Angel and Christina about what they have going on and balancing it as a couple. I think that's the most important part.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk to them next week. So that's it. Next week. Look at it.
I might be a little bit more tame next week, guys.
What a contrast. You had to do the exact show before.
Yeah. I need to know, let them know this who they coming to see.
I'm sure
they're gonna have a script.
I mean, but they all know how I act, man. They know I ain't got no sense.
It should be fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tune in virtually.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, this conversation, y'all know how we do. We talked about it.
Hey.